How's it going, everyone? Mask here with some MapleStory Mobile. Now, I want to take a look at the Bowmaster class today. Bowmaster class is really interesting because, I mean, it fits one of the most popular classical niches in RPGs, and that is the hunter or bowmaster, like the dexterity class, right? Like a lot of people just love using bows in just about any game they play. They're probably going to pick this class up immediately. First thing, it's gonna be no questions asked. But bowmasters in MapleStory really struggle for a couple of reasons. One is all of their skills. Let's take a look at all of their skills have a wind-up time. Click, hit, click, hit. This is just the level 1 skill, for example, but they're all very similar. So you're very susceptible to knockback. And all the high level mobs in the game have really bad knockback. So it really limits your ability to do damage unless you build a lot of knockback resist, which is a stat that's kind of hard to get your hands on. But if you manage to do it and get everything set up, bowmasters can do an insane amount of damage. AoE damage, I should say. They excel in AoE damage, doing damage to tons of different things. So on Zachem runs, for example, when they can hit all the arms. In Horntail, when they can really cleave and hit tons of different things, they can pump out insane amounts of damage. They really struggle with single target damage, though. Their single target damage is quite lackluster. But let's go ahead and take a look at the skills. At level 1, you don't have a whole lot of variety to play around with. You have Arrow Blow. You just shoots arrows at multiple enemies. Doesn't really hit multiple enemies very well, and I'll show you guys that. But Double Jump. You can double jump and travel a greater distance. Tap the up or down button while in the air to jump again. And hit spacebar. And you can basically direct yourself double jump wise. It's kind of a neat thing to work with. We have Critical Shot, giving us a 2% crit rate boost. And Archery Mastery, giving us a 2% accuracy boost. And our first 26 knockback resist. All of which is so important. So let's take a quick look at that skill. There are no buffs, just a simple skill. It has a decent range on it, as you can see. It doesn't travel through mobs very well. Oh, there had to be a bunch of people there. It definitely stopped at that second mob. It was not going to make it through. Here's exactly what I wanted to see. Yeah, it goes the distance, but you can really see that wind up that the bow takes, and that's something we're gonna see through a lot of these skills. Move on to the level 30 skill tree. We're gonna have Arrow Bomb, which fires the same sort of thing. You're gonna see it fire an arrow, but it explodes on target and stuns the target and deals explosive damage to the nearest 5 enemies. And Retreat Shot, which fires arrows while leaping backwards. Tap and hold the skill button to fire rapidly while in the air. That's kind of a neat skill. I will show you that. So now we also have Quiver Cartridge. Shoots 3 special arrows, magic, poison, and lifesteal. The quiver refills once all 3 have been used. Only one effect is applied at a time, and poison stacks up to 3 times. So this is just neat. You're going to get magic damage, poison, and lifesteal arrows. Soul Arrow Bow temporarily increases your damage. So you get a 21% physical attack increase. That's actually a very big number. That's going to help you do a lot more damage. And Bow Booster, increase bow's attack speed for a short time. Also, a full-blown buff. Passive-wise, we're going to get skill damage, activation chance up. When using this skill, attacks have a chance to deal additional damage. You're going to do an additional 4.5% damage 30% of the time. Which is an effective 1.5%-ish damage boost. Bow Mastery, 10% boss attack increase, 10% player attack increase, and physical training, 10% max HP, 10% max MP. A little underwhelming for the passives. The 10% increase here is nice. These buffs were really more of your highlight at this level. And I do believe I equipped them on one of these. Maybe I forgot to. So we can go ahead and just throw them on here. Must have been from the wrong class. These don't belong here. That's what it was. All right. We have all of our buffs going out here. Boom, boom. Oh, that's not. Here they are. activated, and our different skills. So Arrow Bomb is going to fly and do AoE damage after it hits up to 5 nearby enemies. And here's the retreat arrow. You actually jump in the air and you can hold the skill down and move back and forth and change the direction that you're doing the damage. It's kind of neat. And you do float in the air while you're doing this. Problem is, you are still so knockback prone to being kicked out of this. That is most certainly the weakness. And you're kind of limited in the direction that you can shoot, but still it's very consistent and it's going to pump out a ton of damage non-stop. So this is what you would use when trying to do any kind of single target damage to a boss at this level, I should say. This is only level 60. So let's take a look at the sorry, that was level 30. Let's take a look at the level 60 tree. Level 60, we get a ton of stuff. Flame Surge. Launch an arrow imbued with the power of flames to engulf your target and 3 nearby enemies in a firestorm, and you receive continuous damage from being in said firestorm. Phoenix. We get to summon a Phoenix that does 8.9% skill damage. Pretty nice. And it hits 3. It's got a 3 target count with a 4 hit count. That part I don't fully understand. I assume the Phoenix hits more than 1 target though. Hook shot. You shoot a hook towards an enemy within range. Hook onto them, and you actually launch yourself behind them. It's kind of... I'll show you guys that skill. I mean, I explained what it does. Solves up to 2, and then arrow platter is actually a really neat skill that Bowmasters have. You can basically place down 2 bows and that shoot for you and last for 30 seconds. I'll make sure I show you that as well. Reckless Hunt bow. Reckless Hunt allows you to trade 15% of your magic. Sorry, it allows you to trade 15% of your magic and physical damage decrease for 15% increased physical damage. So basically, you're making yourself take 15% more physical and magic damage in order to dish out 15% more physical damage yourself. So it's like trading defense stats for offensive stats. It's neat that a Bowmaster is able to do that. It allows you to pump out more damage, but it certainly doesn't lend you any survivability. Here we're going to Immortal Blow, giving us another 44% skill damage. This is where you're really going to see some crazy damage output start to come from Bowmasters. Focus Fury stacks up to 5 times. You can get up to 15% physical attack increase with a 30% activation chance during your continuous attacks. Dodge gives you 6% evade, 2% crit resist, and 10% crit damage resist. Kind of a lackluster passive. Wouldn't focus on that one while we're leveling up. And Marksmanship, magic defense increase, physical defense increase, and penetration rate increase. It basically increases your defensive stats. Once again, not something you focus on right away while progressing on your character. But let's take a look at these skills. Just activate the buff right here. We're now doing more damage, but also taking more damage. First, I think I'm going to show you the arrow platter. If I set the arrow platter up right here, it will actually continue to shoot arrows for us, killing the things over there. I can set the other arrow platter up once it's off cooldown. The 10-second cooldown, but they last for 30 seconds. So you can maintain 2 of them up just like you see now. These 2 bows here are shooting. It is shooting not in the direction that I wanted it to, hilariously. Maybe I can go like this and redirect that one over there. There we go. Now it'll actually get some kills. Or not. But that is arrow platter. And now let's take a look at hook shot. Didn't quite look like it worked there. I'll do that again once it's off cooldown. Here's the Phoenix. You can summon the Phoenix. It's going to attack. You can see it hitting there. It's only hitting. It looks like it's hitting pretty decent. So the hit count, it's hitting 4 at once. That's what the hit count was. Up to 3 targets. And here is our basically the firestorm arrow. When it hits, it creates a firestorm on the ground, and anything that's left sitting in that firestorm will take continuous damage. So this does pump out some pretty decent damage, and quite good for mobbing in an AoE format. As you can see, we're going crazy right now. And then everything is just taking massive AoE damage and going to continue to take damage while in the fire. But once again, click, shoot, click, shoot, there is a wind up, and if you're against mobs that are knocking you up, they will knock you out of that wind up, and you won't be able to do any damage. Let's try with the hook shot again. There you go. As you can see, I hit him with the hook shot. It flings me behind him. Kind of an awkward skill, because as a Bowmaster, you don't really want to fling yourself right up against your enemy. Just doesn't make much sense. But that is going to be the level 60 kit. So we got one more to look at. The level 100, I believe I have it all stacked up on one here. Yes, I do. Hurricane. You launch a catastrophic storm cloud of arrows at great speed. Long tap the skill to continuously fire arrows and consume MP. Binding shot. Harm an enemy to prevent them from moving. Binding shot. So Hurricane does does quite a lot of skill damage, actually. 111%. I'll show you guys that. Binding shot is kind of an awkward skill. All it really does is stun your opponent for 6 seconds, but the stun doesn't work on bosses, and we're mostly killing the mobs that we're attacking almost instantly, so it becomes really awkward. On a 10-second cooldown, you're not going to use this much, and definitely max this last. But Arrow Stream, you shoot a wild flurry of arrows straight ahead, and this did just get a buff, this skill, from the last patch that we had. So we'll take a look at that once we're ready here. Sharp Eyes. Penetrate the enemy with an intense glare, dealing crit damage and decreasing incoming damage. So, we're looking at HP and MP recovery up. Physical damage decrease up. It's actually a defensive stat. 20% crit damage increase. 6% magic damage decrease, a defensive stat. And 15% speed. Sharp Eyes cannot be used during auto battle. Interesting. Oh, it just means your character won't use it. You can still put it on an auto buff pet. Enchanted Quiver enhances quiver cartridge stats and temporarily allows you to fire without consuming any arrows. Only a 30% buff duration with a 20 arrow count, and that is referring to the quiver cartridge, I believe. Yes, the quiver cartridge from level 30, giving us the magic, poison, and lifesteal arrows. Those are the two buffs, but the passives we're picking up at level 100 is going to give us a chance to pierce the enemy's defenses and inflict extra damage. So a chance to basically inflict physical damage decrease and magic damage decrease down, decreasing your opponent's defensive stats with a 30% activation chance. Advanced Final Attack. Bonus 6.2% skill damage, which is fantastic. Illusion Step, you're going to see boss defense increase, boss defense and player defense increase by 4% each. That's going to be a defensive passive. And Bow Expert, giving us 4% bonus physical damage, is a great offensive passive as well. Let's take a look at the actives. We've been taking damage this whole time. That is totally fine. Okay, so this is Arrow Stream. All you do is hold down the skill. You're going to continuously use mana and pump out damage. It is basically shredding the stuff that it's hitting. This is probably going to be the most efficient single target damage you can put out at the moment as a Bowmaster. Here's the skill I was talking about that, oops, on a 10-second cooldown. We'll have to use that again. Here's the passives, or the buffs. You can see them getting used now. This one's always on cooldown because it's only a 20-second buff, and my pet here is constantly using it. Here is the stun attack. Gonna go. It didn't one-hit him. Stuns him for 6 seconds. Very underwhelming. And here's a skill you will see the Bowmasters use quite a lot. It is a massive AoE skill, and you can see it's clearing ridiculous amounts of space. It's going to hit these mobs on the top of this, maybe not on the top of this staircase. It was hitting them up the other one. You have to jump. So if we jump, time the jump right. Rip. Maybe not. Okay, from right here, from on this little tiny ledge, we can clear everything in both directions just by hitting this skill. So this is an insane ranged AoE skill. Gonna knock everyone down, but of course, Arrow Stream, once we have that up, everything that spawns and gets in our way here is just going to get absolutely melted. Those are going to be your top 2 damaging skills at the top of the Bowmaster skill tree. as well as Arrow Platter. I should throw Arrow Platter on over this buff here, so we can throw that down as well. Essentially, you're going to be Arrow Plattering. You got Arrow Stream going. Hit them with this giant AoE. You can even kill these mobs that are up top without having to run up there, just because of how massive this skill is. Set up our other Arrow Platter in the other direction. And here you have Bowmaster at its best, pumping out damage. But the big thing to keep in mind is still most of these skills click damage. It's the delay there. If you can absolutely get knocked out of the cast of everything you do. While your arrow streaming like this, the second you get knocked back, it cancels the arrow stream, and the fire up time is quite significant on it. This is click, then start shooting. Like, it's over a full second fire up time. And the second you get into like Star Force 80 and above, which is where you need to farm to start leveling up in the later parts of this game, that knockback is going to really affect you. So in order to counter that, it is very important that you take a look at your duels. You're really going to need knockback resist duels. As you can see, here's a knockback, two knockback resist, one, two, three, four knockback resist yellows. This one right here pretty well needs to become it too, and you do get knockback resist when you upgrade this set past A as well. And that'll get some more knockback resist to come in. So you having a full set, I didn't even have to look to see if this was here, I just knew it was. Having a full set of yellow knockback resist jewels is just so important as a Bowmaster to actually be able to continuously pump out damage at later levels. But if you can, it's a pretty neat class. I love the double jump. I'm having just as much fun with it. I mean, it's not the triple jump that Night Lords get, but it can go straight up. You can pound down with it as well. And this class is going to pump out some insane amounts of damage if you can manage to get your hands on the knockback resist that's going to let you do it. So that is a great look at the Bowmaster class, what skills it has to offer, and hopefully this gives you guys a great idea as to whether or not you want to play it. But thanks for checking this video out. As always, grab my Facebook and my Twitter from the link down below in the Thanks for checking this video out. Super huge shout out to Miner from Legendary for letting me for helping me make this Bowmaster video. I couldn't have done it without you. Make sure to grab my Facebook and my Twitter link from the description down below. Follow me on social media. That's how you know when new content's coming out and when I'm going live on Twitch. You also have the link to join Discord down there, discord.gg/MasKTV. That's how you're going to come join our giant growing MapleStory family on Discord of over 3,000 members now. We would love to have you. And I'm always looking forward to suggestions and stuff on how to improve the Discord as well. So that'll do it for today. Until next time, smash that subscribe button and stay classy.